Welcome back to our series, the cannabinoid graphic novels based on Moby Dick, that I should be writing right now. We are now up to chapter 6, which in Moby Dick is called The Street. And it's a great chapter about how you can see all the peoples of the world on the streets of this little whaling town in Massachusetts. Because everybody can come to hunt the whale and to look at the grand diversity of life that can be seen there. And so I wanted to focus on the grand diversity of where cannabis was at this point in history. And I decided to call this one The Show for reasons that you'll see. At the very highest level, what you could say is the golden age of cannabis in the United States started in 1876. That was the year of the Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia. It was one of those world fair shows, all the coolest stuff happening on the planet being exhibited there, and countries putting forth the best of what they had. And what was there was a hashish lounge, a place you could go to simply enjoy it. It was set up with an oriental type splendor, and it was a place to simply enjoy your hashish. And if I had a time travel machine, isn't that where you would want to go? And so at the very highest level of society, this was being used. There were things called Viper lounges that were starting to happen. That was hashish smoking spots in different cities. And of course, the pharmaceutical use was becoming more and more widespread. More and more doctors knew about using tinctures of cannabis that could be procured from the local pharmacist. But for the show, that is the patent medicine people going all over the states, especially in the South and the West. And so just like in modern times, we have pharmaceutical companies who pay to advertise on television shows. Back then, they had these dog and pony shows of great musicians, and they would use these to help gather in everybody, and then after the show, sell them this patent medicine. And of course, the patent medicines were usually something with opium, with cannabis, with a couple of other plant medicines in there, all in a good, healthy shot of grain alcohol. So if you weren't feeling great, one of those plants was going to probably help you to feel better. And so cannabis was widespread through this. People didn't always know that they were getting cannabis. And if they did, they probably didn't mind as much. It was not a well-known thing. There wasn't a lot of pushback against it at the time. But you had all of these different ways to be acquiring cannabis at this time, and there was nothing illegal about it. It was simply not quite as readily known. And so all of this ended, though, the curtain falls in 1908 with the Pure Food and Drug Act, which, as far as federal drug laws go, is a pretty good one, because mostly it said you had to label what was in your products. And once all those patent medicine people had to show exactly what was in there, their sales dropped. And so that was how the Pure Food and Drug Act ended this wild, wild west of cannabis in the United States.